Hey, my friends, if you're looking for a faster, a better way to grow and scale your landscape business, you likely don't need to join just another free Facebook group or watch another YouTube video. What you need is a proven, cohesive growth strategy for your business, along with the one-on-one coaching or group coaching and accountability to support you every step of the way. And that's exactly what the $1 Million Academy delivers to you. The $1 Million Academy is coaching, tools, accountability, and done-for-you resources for landscapers who want to take the guesswork out of scaling and growing towards a profitable multiple 6, even 7-figure plus business without all the stress and all the hours of agonizing. How do I get everything done? Or am I doing this right? Or what do I need to focus on next? The $1 Million Academy is about thinking differently and thinking bigger about how to be a successful business owner. It's about more than just being good at landscaping. It's about how to create more profit and how to scale, all while relieving some of the pressure on yourself. We do have group and one-on-one coaching spots available. So if you want to go learn more, head over to milliondolarlandscaper.com/academy and get in there today.
This podcast is brought to you by Busy Busy. Busy Busy is so simple to use, and it's the most reliable GPS time tracking app on the market. And the best part is, it was built for landscapers. Busy Busy's founder created Busy Busy because he owns multiple construction companies and needed to understand better which projects were making him money and which projects were killing him. Payroll is the highest variable cost in the project, so you better be tracking it. Busy Busy does this better than anyone else. So download Busy Busy today, and don't forget to mention the $1 Million Landscaper podcast to get 3 free months.
We want to take a quick second to tell you about our friends over at Cycle CPA. I can't even express to you how important it is to have a good accountant on your side. You know you want accurate bookkeeping and financial statements every month. Instead, you're often left with limited time to focus on the accounting side of your business and no reports to show for it. At Cycle CPA, the landscaping accountants, they not only handle the bookkeeping, but also provide landscape industry benchmarking, job costing, financials by service line, advisory meetings, and much more. Cycle CPA has a team of landscaping accountants available to provide anything from bookkeeping to CFO services. Visit cyclecpa.com, and for $100 off, mention the $1 Million Landscaper podcast.
Welcome back to the $1 Million Landscaper podcast. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between goals and systems.
Nice.
Well, because a goal is just that objective, that target you're trying to reach. You know, some sort of desired result that you have decided that you want. That is awesome. And a system is a process for you to follow. So if you have set these goals, but you haven't set kind of any system or process to follow, then how do you think you're going to achieve that goal? And trust me, this is something I've learned the hard way. You know how many goals I have set in my life and not gotten to because I just set them and I put them out there into the wind, and then I never get there because I never took that crucial step of putting systems in place to actually achieve these goals.
Well, we do systems and procedures every single day in our business, whether you realize or not. Like, you get up and probably have a system where you brush your teeth and comb your hair and put your makeup on or whatever it is. There's always some kind of system that you do.
There is, but unless there is intent behind that system, then that's where you kind of just get caught in like that, like willy-nilly no man's land.
Well, and I think this is part of the problem landscapers face in their business. They don't have any plan or sometimes.
Right. And so everything's more reactive than it is proactive. So, and I think this is really important right now because nothing's getting cheaper. Nothing's getting easier. If there is a recession looming, then nothing's going to get easier. Those of you all that were just getting by on like hard work and hustling your butt, that's going to make that all a lot harder.
Well, I think this past year or two has been pretty, for the most part, it's been pretty easy on most landscapers. It's been fairly easy getting work. There's, the government.
And that's great. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the government's giving out money and just people have had a little extra cash than probably what they expected. I understand some people are out of work. I'm not getting those people, but for the most part, I think the landscape.
It hasn't been too bad. It's been everybody we've talked to, sales hasn't been their number one problem for most people. Most people are getting enough work to stay busy.
Correct. And then with the talks of a recession, we're not economic people
Yeah, I'm not doing any economic forecasting here, but just watch the news.
Yeah, and everybody knows it's something that's possibly coming up. So it is important to kind of really look at your business and look at what you can do to streamline and make things more productive and efficient.
Well, if you have a goal, just start breaking it down. Ask yourself, what do you need to do on a daily basis to accomplish this goal? What do you need to do on a weekly basis to accomplish this goal? And what do you need to do on a monthly basis to accomplish this goal? Just we'll throw out some examples. I guess I should have thought through my examples, but like if you have some kind of revenue goal, okay, what are you going to do every week to make sure you're on track to reach that goal? What are you going to do every month to make sure you're on track to reach that goal? And then, or every week, whatever, daily, weekly, monthly. What are you going to do to make sure that you are on track to reach that goal? And I get it. Some weeks you have tons of sales, some weeks you don't. That's why there's like that monthly in there as well, because it will average out. But if you're not tracking it, then how do you know if you're on your way to get there?
Absolutely. And this is something that I have personally have seen be a little bit of an issue for some people in the academy. At the beginning of the year, we always set our budget. We create a budget and set their sales goal, whatever their sales goal is. However, they're not really checking along the way to make sure they're staying on track with that sales goal. I happen to be out meeting with the person, and
one of our academy members,
and I asked them kind of where they're at, and they just honestly weren't sure. And it wasn't necessarily because they didn't think it was important. They honestly didn't have an idea how to check it. They didn't have a procedure. They didn't understand it. So I had to show them, and they found that they weren't on track with their sales goal. They're actually quite behind. So, okay, so what do we do? But if you have a procedure that you check this weekly, monthly, and you can see if you are staying on track with your sales goal, it's important. You have to.
You've got to stay. You just got to stay on it. I guess they think you summed it up. So that was just like a good example of that. And back to what you said about how they didn't have a system in place for knowing and checking on this. Another important thing to ask yourself is, what problems are you going to encounter along the way to your goal? So this is one of those where if he was having the problem of he didn't know how to check it, then, what can you do? We can show you how to do that, but apparently he hadn't reached out or hadn't looked in the academy or just didn't let us know. Because there's information out there to help you. So whatever, regardless of what your goal is, and depending, like this was just like a knowledge gap.
Yeah.
For some people, it's a busyness gap. So maybe that your day, as the day goes on, your day gets a little unhinged. So maybe you need to sit and look at this like at 7:00 in the morning, or come in early. If your day starts at 7, maybe one day a week you need to come in at 6:30 and look at this stuff before everybody gets there. Make the obstacle part of the plan. And if your day getting unhinged is one of the problems, don't tell yourself that you're going to do this at 4:30 in the afternoon. You know that is a ridiculous nonsense lie that you're telling yourself. So just if you need to come in a half hour earlier one day a week, then do that. So, but make the obstacle part of the plan. And that way you're not just not doing it because you haven't thought it through.
Well, when we talk to a lot of people in our accountability meetings, I ask them their goals, and then I find out what would hold you back from getting to those goals. A lot of times they find it's themselves. It's something that they're doing or not doing.
Oh my goodness. On my lifelong journey of trying to hit goals and be a better person, the problem is always me. Every time it's always been me. I'm just saying. It is.
But everybody has these issues. Everybody has, you're putting out fires, you're doing this and that.
Unfortunately, you're not special. Everybody has problems. Everybody is busy. And so you're just going to have to come up with a system to work around your busyness and all of that. Because, we're 45 and I've not gotten less busy. Maybe we were less busy. The only time I could think of being less busy was like 23 years ago, like when we didn't have kids and it was just me and you and we had 2 dogs and life. And when we thought we were busy then, but then we were not. So once again, I think there's some perspective in there, but just life doesn't get unbusy because most entrepreneurs are enthusiastic, engaging people. So you're going to find ways to fill your time regardless. And so there's always going to be something. Just know what your weakness is and work it into the equation. Don't try to just hard nose your way through it. And I know that I'm never going to work out in the afternoon. If I don't do it earlier in the day, I'm not going to. Why? Because I get real whiny and tired and lazy the further the day goes on. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it.
And that's, well, like you said earlier, you have to set the time. You have to dedicate it's in the morning, whatever, every Friday or whatever it is. And this is something that, going back to the person that wasn't checking their revenue and seeing where they're at. Okay, let's set a date every Monday morning, whatever it is, 6 o'clock in the morning, you come in and you pull up the report, see where you're at, and try.
And I would take it one step further and set a contingency plan. Okay, if Monday morning rolls around and you didn't do it, then when's the next time you're going to do it?
Yeah.
Write the contingency plan in place, and that way you know that you've got to do it. Maybe your week was just one of those weeks. We've all had them. Well, you might have to work on it for an hour on a Saturday morning, or skip brunch after church on Sunday and work on it then. That's just part of being a business owner. I wish I could say that you could system your way out of ever having to be flexible with your schedule and do things like that. But I don't think that's realistic, and I don't want to set up, anybody, to be that unrealistic. And so, but always, like you said, set your plan, and I would always take it one step further and set a contingency plan.
I like that.
Yep. So I was trying to, the next question I've got on here is, how can you make it easy? How can you make it easier? Everything that you're coming across, whatever your problem is, how can you make it easier? This is one of the reasons we started the academy, because it's all the crap that we were having a hard time with. So it's everything that we learn, everything that we have turned into a system, a process, or a spreadsheet, or a worksheet, or a one sheet, we have put in there. That way it's already done. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I'm just saying, we have it all in there, and there's access to coaching. So you can ask somebody who's already been there and done it. Just one example of how you can make it easier.
You have to. If you make it difficult, it won't happen. You won't do it because it's, I just don't want to, you'll dread doing it. So if it's easy, it's something that can easily be done and implemented, you're more likely going to succeed with.
Yeah, well, and the reason I know to take your goals and go that one step further and set a contingency plan is because I myself am in a group. I'm in a group coaching program for coaches that teaches you how to reach your goals and everything, because I was interested and I was learning all of this, but I was having a hard time even implementing myself. And even though I know better, I was still struggling. And so guess what I did? I joined a group for coaches that helps you with all of this stuff. Everybody needs help. Going it alone is the really hard and really long path. You're just asking for struggle. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, we haven't really talked about this anywhere, and I haven't actually brought this up to you until just now. Katie and I have talked about creating like a special group where you call like a doing session or something that you can actually spend time, and like you'll join us every week or whatever. We haven't put the details together, but we're talking about creating some kind of time that you can dedicate, and it might be like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. You hop in, and for whatever 60 minutes, you are going to spend time doing stuff, whatever it is, working on your business, because you have to make the time to do it.
I actually saw this. I first saw this on TikTok because, well, I'm obsessed with TikTok, but we don't have to talk about that right now. But it's a lady who has ADHD and was working through a master's program, so she needed some kind of accountability to get her studying done. Literally, all she does is pull up her TikTok live, and it's like a co-working session. Yeah. People are chatting a little bit in the comments, but it's just a group of people getting together and working on like studying or doing whatever. She'll have like 700 and some people in there, and everybody's just studying and get their stuff done. But it gives you a dedicated time and some accountability to get it done. So that is something that we're kicking around. If you think that's a good idea, drop a heck yes in the comments, and we'll continue to pursue that a little bit further.
Yeah, just because we are seeing people just in our academy and the people we talk to, they know they have to make time for these things. They just can't seem to fit it in their schedule because of everything.
Well, that's the hard part. Yeah, that's the very hard part.
And so if we can dedicate a time, and like I said, we have to work on the details, but dedicated time every week or whatever it is that you hop in, we'll be there, just kind of be silent. So you come in, you work on whatever, we'll talk about whatever your intentions are and get at it. We'll start working on it. And then, at the end, we'll see what you accomplish.
Because another thing that I've learned in this coaching group that I joined is that self-accountability is actually really hard. Because I've been hard on myself for a long time for like, man, why can I not do better? I know better. I know a lot. I know better. Why can't I do this? It's because I am one of those people who's a little bit stubborn and just always stop it with your face. And I don't like to ask for help. And so I do try to just muscle through and do things on my own and not ask for help and not reach out. And so actually 2023 is one of the, that's one of my goals for the year, is to reach out and ask for more help, even if it is something as simple, not similar, as reaching out to somebody. Because just for example, I'm catching myself, I'm in the February funk a little bit It's cold. There's actually a little bit of sunshine today, but it's mostly dreary here. And I just get kind of funky this time of year. I just get a little blah. I reached out to a friend today who has dogs as well. And I was like, hey, can we just meet up one night this week and just walk the dogs? Because she just got a new puppy and her puppy needs to learn to walk on the leash for longer stints. And so I'm like, cool. We still have our foster dog. And so I'm like, please, can we just meet up and go on a walk one night this week? And that's me just reaching out, because exercise walks are good for you, and just a little mental health break to just get together with a friend. I mean, petting puppies, when isn't that helpful? And so it's just even little things like that. And so I guess to add to this rant, if we set something up that would just give people a designated time slot and a little bit of accountability outside themselves to show up to get things done, like we said, if you think that would be helpful, put hell yeah in the comments, and we'll put some more time and effort into trying to make that happen.
Yeah. And this will be something very, 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 very affordable for everybody. Like, we're not
right. Yes.
It's something that we have some systems that we can easily create this and put it out to everybody. So, like Katie said, let us know if there's something interested in. We haven't even talked about this before we started.
No, we've talked about it in theory a little bit, but it had we have so many things that we want to do that it wasn't at the tippy top of the list, but we could always bump it up if it was something people are interested in. So that's all I've got for you today. It's really just, don't not set goals. Setting goals is great, but as you're setting the goals, think of the systems that you're going to need in place so you can really reach those goals. Because I know the disappointment and frustration that you can have with yourself of not reaching goals, because I am just 1,000 times over % guilty of doing it. Of just being like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and it's like, it all falls apart. But I never had any plan to get it done. And nobody ever teaches you this.
Well, and it's like everybody makes the New Year's resolutions to get to the gym and work out more, and you see the increase in gym memberships, and then by the end of February, it's all back down. It's like that.
Yeah, well, because once the initial yay, I'm gonna do this wears off. If you don't have this, the systems are what is going to keep you doing it when spontaneous motivation isn't there. Because that's actually kind of a myth. Usually, action has to precede motivation. I know very few people that just wake up ready to tackle and wrestle the day, 100% motivated all the time to do everything all the time. If that person exists, I do not know them.
We need them.
If they exist. But if you have the systems in place to keep you in the consistent action, then that's when the motivation will come, and it will get easier and easier and easier. And so you rely less on the systems and more of that internal motivation and internal accountability can get set into place. But it's a skill that you have to acquire. It's a muscle that you've got to flex and use in order to make it work. It's not, if you've never done this before, don't expect yourself to just boom, automatically do it. That's not realistic. So be kind to yourself. Don't get down on yourself. It is all doable.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. Again, if you something you're interested in doing that co-working session, let us know. Put a hell yeah in the comments, and so we'll look into it a little bit further.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you have a great day.